Ever since I can remember, my family's been coming to forests like these to go camping. I grew up back east, went to college there, and went into the Peace Corps, and it was in Africa in the 1980s that I got a sense of how human beings were destroying the entire planet. When I came back to the US, I decided I should work for the Environmental Protection Agency, but just a couple of years there and I realized government wasn't going to solve the problems. So I decided to come out here to Eugene, Oregon, just to live a simple lifestyle and not be a part of the problem myself. When I got out here and I saw the big trees and the mountains and the rivers of Cascadia, I fell in love with this place. And when I saw the clear cuts and the tree farms, I was sickened. They're far more prevalent than the natural forest. Most of the natural forest that's left is on public land. It's managed by the Forest Service, and what they do is they mark the trees with blue paint and they sell them off. They want to maximize timber values, so the natural fires that start in the forest, they put them all out. The forest would naturally recover from this kind of a situation if it's left to heal, but the Forest Service doesn't do that. They sell it off as low-priced salvage. Even if an area is off limits to logging, even if an arsonist is the one that sets it on fire, the Forest Service will still sell it off as low-priced salvage. And because naturally recovering forest is never let to naturally heal, it's one of the rarest ecosystems in the West. Now, I learned all this from my friends Katya and Tim. They call it light it, fight it, and log it. And they were the ones that convinced a bunch of us that when it happened at Warner Creek, at the end of a long mountain road on Bunchgrass Ridge, we had to be there first.
4 winds, 7 seas, relative humanity. Everywhere I look, I see someone looking back at me.
We didn't just walk through forests. We also walked through clear cuts. We walked through tree farms. We walked through tree plantations. It's so obvious when you're up there. A tree plantation is not a forest. Fire doesn't destroy a forest. Logging destroys a forest.
And unless you move, you can be cited for blocking.
Disorderly conduct, blocking a public highway, is a crime in Oregon, and you can be physically arrested for it. Are you willing to go?
Really beautiful. All that was here was the Forest Service gate, which we've modified a bit. Their signs say Cascadia Free State now, and their foundations have been reinforced a bit.
We don't know how long we're going to need to be here, and whether or not it's snow or rain or just cold, we need to be comfortable here, because this is definitely where we're living. We've been here for several weeks now.
Oh, this is a really big ditch. It's basically the area's been taken over as Cascadia Free State to stop logging trucks from coming in, and some folks have basically put ditches in the road to stop the logging trucks from coming in.
It's pretty impossible for vehicles to drive around the cables without bumping them or dislodging them, which would probably bring me to my death. We hope that the Forest Service cares a little more about human life than they do about animal life or tree life or plant life.
It's a complete redefinition of culture. What we wear, what we eat, where we live, how we transport ourselves. We need a complete redefinition of this culture. Don't feel like you can come to a rally, cast the right vote, and it's going to change. It's going to change when we all change.
This is insane. It's so sad to me that the people have to come and get arrested to take care of the forest that's in our backyards. You know, it's just ridiculous.
Come and breathe with us. Come and birth with us.
But now we're faced with species extinction. Extinction is not death, extinction is the end of birth. It doesn't come back, ever. It's because of that that we're spurred on to additional thing that we got to do. And that is where we find unjust, unrighteous laws, we have to break them. So the third thing I'm getting at here is civil disobedience. I ask you to hold off the timber beast as long as you possibly can and cost them as much money as you possibly can until they arrest you.
We're the future, but the way things are going, future America is going to be desolation.
These are the brothers and sisters, these are the comrades that are going to help save these places. We need to get to know each other and let this fast be part of what binds our community together, because it's going to take a lot of strength, and you're going to need to feel that strength down in your gut as you're standing up for what you believe in, and as you're standing up for this life other than human life, and as you're standing up for the future generations. Thank you very much.
Can you just tell me why you're chained up here today? I'm chained here today because I've done it all. I've done petitions, I've collected postcards, I've met with public officials, I've lobbied, I've talked to people on the streets. Nothing upon nothing is working. This is the last stand, and I'm taking it.
Are these vehicles going to be moved with people pinned under them?
If that's the only way we can move them, that's what's going to
So these vehicles will be moved with people pinned under them?
They will be moved.
They will be moved.
I think we need to salvage the old growth stuff.
All of it?
Well, I think a lot of it can be gone through.
And if this isn't greed, I don't know what is.
Nobody was into it. No new food was coming up. People weren't bringing up food. They were just getting here with barely their lives intact. So morale was like sinking like a stone and everything like that. But we just sat tight up here. We were just rocks, and they sent up these parties of people that are like, we're pulling out, you guys, anytime you want to leave, just give us a signal, we'll get you out of there and everything. But we just sat fully tight, and we were like, no way, we're styling. Yeah. We're styling up here, come up and see it.
And the issue wasn't just about one forest anymore. And for us in the Warner Creek campaign, it wasn't just about forests anymore. We were starting to look at the way our whole society was organized, the way we as individuals related to the land, and the way we related to each other. And in that time at the Warner Creek campaign, a lot of the women were looking at the way men and women are raised differently in the society, and the way men are afforded a privilege, many privileges that women aren't afforded. We live in a patriarchal society, and we're all conditioned to act that way.
Initial one lockdown scenario on a road up at the gate to halt the Forest Service has now turned into like almost a year-long roadblock, which has grown from one lockdown to over 15 lockdown situations, and at least I'd say 500 people to 1,000 have come up here and camped. And we've had all these big shot media people, we've had newspapers, and we've had school kids, prep schools from Vermont come here to do all-night watch shifts for us with their teachers, and it's really been an inspirational place for activists all over the country.
Kind of neglected in certain other places. Our federal government has been neglecting us.
Okay.
We went over to the federal building to talk with the Forest Service, and they locked the doors on us.
They never.
They did.
Oh, I'm Libby. Who are you?
I'm Jan, and these are just concerned people.
Aaron. Come on in. Can y'all fit?
So folks, this is Jeff Steer. He's legislative director for Peter DeFazio. He's in Washington, D.C. right now talking to us. Warner Creek has gotten the attention of the president's chief of staff. What basically people are seeing today is that we can start getting ready in our minds to leave the blockade. Well, what we just want to make certain is that there's enough attention around this now that some lower level people within a lot of machismo want to go up there and start trying to develop arrests. All right, thanks a lot, Jeff. Bye-bye. Folks, this is great news. This is the first time any of us have ever heard that there was actually a process in place to stop the logging within the administration at the Warner North sale.
Is this the lockdown?
Yeah, that's the door.
You got your arm down in the ground?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, the sun will be up there in a bit, and then we'll...
Are you deciding to come in here and cut? They canceled it.
The paper was, you may not believe me, but the paper was signed yesterday, and it's the honest to God truth.
How do we trust these people? Because
You've
we
got
need
to.
proof that you will be allowed to get
Wait a
out
minute, okay.
and into town.
Are they going to walk them down, or you want me to walk them down?
They'll take them for you.
We're going to go down and start at the bottom.
You all don't want the media to know about this? Is that what's going on?
That probably has a little bit to do with it.
The reporter, the photographer, the register guard hiked in, get their story, and this is their fate. They're handcuffed, and now all their gear is being searched and seized.
You're hurting me! That hurts! That hurts! Get away from me!
I just got done an hour with the chief of the Willamette National Forest, and I can tell you, without a doubt, Warner Creek is not yet saved.
Not saved!
The thing that we have done most effectively, more than anything else, is make Warner Creek into a national issue. The only thing that we can put faith in is continuing our own direct actions. In town, up on the hill. We gotta keep that up. We gotta keep the pressure on. We got 4 sisters right now that have not eaten. They've been locked up in solitary confinement. They're on their 4th day. As long as these sisters are willing to stay inside, we should be on the outside supporting them. All right? So, on our way over there, we might want to just give them a little bit of support. Their names are Lupin, Raven, Hemlock, Madrone, Lupin, Raven, Hemlock, Madrone, Lupin, Raven, Hemlock, Madrone,
from the judge that no one of the protesters is now allowed into the courtroom. You are in a position of imminent arrest.
No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace. Come on, everybody.
Johnny.
No business as usual. No business as usual.
It's all cut up in circles, carved into squares, miles and miles without going anywhere.
So what's going on at the jail right now?
Sis has entered the jail at this time. Thomas Creek agreed with the Department of Agriculture to release the seals for a cost at around $475,000.
When you bite into nature, nature bites back. It's just the ways that it is, a matter of fact. If I look to myself, if I look to myself, I would see people in trees, places in this world. People are living in trees, living in trees, living in trees. This world, people are living in trees.
The World Trade Organization is the only international organization dealing with the global rules of trade between nations. Its main function is to ensure that trade flows as smoothly, predictably, and freely as possible. The result is a more prosperous, peaceful, and accountable economic world.
This is the beginning, and everything's at stake.
There's only one thing that the ruling interests have ever wanted, and that's everything.
What we are against is trade at any cost.
This is not about trade. This is about a corporate constitution.
We're pitted to be pitted against each other in a race to the bottom. Who will accept the most miserable working conditions?
Well,
Well, 200 years ago, we established a principle in this country that ultimate political authority does not reside in the king or the president or the Constitution or the Supreme Court or the Congress. Ultimate political authority, sovereignty, resides in we the people.
I don't want to lose democracy for my children, for my grandchildren. And the way the WTO is set up, we're losing it. And if we don't all stand up, we're going to lose it.
We're on our way to be near the convention center, try and prevent today's meeting from taking place.
So are you in the lockdown crew?
I'm taking part in that, yes.
Okay. Why do you feel that a strategy like a lockdown is important? Why do you think this is the right way to go?
I think it does two things. One is that we're actually physically standing in the way of what's going to happen today, and that's important for us to do. And second of all, it demonstrates that people are willing to both go outside of the boundaries and put themselves at risk, and that they feel this is really important, and that's something that people around the world need to know, that this is a very serious thing.
Humanity, not corporate greed. Humanity, not corporate greed.
My name is Gopal Dayaneni. I'm a preschool teacher from Berkeley, California.
And what's brought you out here today?
What brought me out here today is the totally undemocratic way in which major decisions about human population are being made by the World Trade Organization.
What's going on here today?
We're demonstrating the WTO. We're trying to shut it down.
What do you mean shut it down?
Well, right now we're blockading the entranceway that most of the delegates are trying to get in. So we're literally trying to shut down the meeting.
Direct action brought these people together. Many of them on the street I've talked to have never been in a direct action before. They feel very empowered. They're starting to understand that people can be empowered and take charge of things themselves, and direct action is perfect for getting people in that role to take charge over their own lives.
They're tear gassing 16-year-old girls sat on the ground. It's outrageous.
They kept telling us to move, and we didn't move, and they tear gassed us, and they moved in.
No more violence! No more violence! Don't let anyone more violence! No more violence!
The police began to spray tear gas into the crowd and shot rubber bullets indiscriminately into the crowd.
Well, the main motivation for us starting the Independent Media Center was folks on the ground here in Seattle recognizing the importance of this issue, and also that all these tremendous, brilliant, articulate people were coming from all over the world to speak truth to power here, to confront globalization and its anti-democratic agenda.
The blind spot, which is this paper, it's the paper that the Independent Media Center puts out every day during the WTO, and it's basically like a 11 by 17 fold over that's front and back, and which is pretty much all we can afford to do. I'm sure we could fill a lot more of it at this point, and this was today's headline.
Fuck you! Hold your pants up, hold your pants. Jesus, did you see that?
They're coming in here. What kind of people are these?
We came to Seattle as steelworkers and environmentalists committed to the cause of social justice to our people and our planet. When labor and student and environmentalists and human rights activists stand together, we can and did shut down the WTO.
There's an unbelievable power in the people, in the trade union movement, when we work together, when we take the human rights activists, the environmental activists, the civic groups, our community coalitions, and we ally this with the labor movement. There's no force in the United States that can turn us back.
This is one of the rubber bullets that the police fired at the demonstrators yesterday. And I was actually there when that was happening, and it seemed like the tear gas was fired first and then people started breaking windows as a response.
A few windows that were broken were no big deal compared to what could have happened. The police are overreacting, and now they're taking the peaceful protesters that are out here and treating them really wrong. It's wrong. They should realize that if we wanted to raise hell out here, it could have happened.
You know, we don't have a democracy anymore, and the democracy is being lost.
You know, I'm out here, I have a 7-year-old child. I'm out here to voice my opinions on how we should protect our environment for the future. And I have the right to assemble, and my rights have been taken away today. I'm not sure if I still live in America.
How does that make you feel about democracy in America?
I don't believe we have democracy.
Can you describe what happened?
Well, we're legal observers, and there was a march down the street, perfectly peaceful, arm in arm, and the police simply opened fire, no warning, tear gas, rubber bullets. They came in mass, and now they're chasing people with armored cars. This was a peaceful demonstration that included labor, that included young people, that included all kinds of people. It was completely unprovoked, totally unprovoked.
About 5 or 6 canisters.
The police gassed us for no reason, and the media is telling the world that this is a way to control people. Or they say that we are people who do not know what we are protesting or what we are talking about.
And so I go over there, and it ends up being a certified NGO who's in the conference, listening to all the closed-door legislation they're doing, and it's Victor Minotti.
I haven't heard any news other than that the third world wants to change the rules on caffeine.
There was a police car waiting to the left of me on 4th Avenue, behind the police cordon, and they opened up, they zipped in, they popped open the door, they threw Victor in, and they were gone. And it was that quick.
Agreed to have the riot police here stand down. There will be no tear gassing. There will be nothing. Just to stand down on the police.
We are not going away tomorrow, the day after. They're continuing negotiations. That we will not go away. We will make sure they are out. We will be at the mayor's office, in front of this jail, at Sandpoint, wherever we have to fucking go to make sure that every single one of them is out.
Tonight, the World Trade Organization meetings are being declared a failure.
We shut down the WTO. We've made their meetings cancel. We've expressed to the world that we're not going to put up with this undemocratic system and this kind of institutions that push us down.
Organized labor does not tolerate lower standards for any worker, anywhere, for any reason. We will fight for those workers, and we will not stop.
Well, definitely today we have shown that people can be united against the mighty force.
Everybody
goes back to their four corners of the world now to take democracy back and spread it. And that's the real key. Take the whole world tell the world about the WTO. Tell them that it's a people's uprising that's going to stop it, and that's what we have to do.
I think the big message we take is to go back to our own original places and organize ourselves against the mighty power.
We keep going. This is just the beginning. Definitely, this is not protests. These are not just protests in the street. This is a mobilization of the communities and people that are all around us. So we're going to continue.
Repeat after me.
I am reading this off my pager.
I am reading this off my pager.
This is direct information.
This is direct information.
A complete collapse.
A complete collapse.
There will be no new millennium round.
There will be no new millennium round.
Get ready for this story. Turn your page and close your eyes. It's ready to begin.
Were you surprised that some of the peaceful protesters were trying to stop people from...
Some of the so-called peaceful protesters actually used forced physical intervention, including even pepper spray, to protect the corporations until the police could show up and protect them for them.
I tell your mom about this.
I want to tell my mom that hopefully she can get out and join us because it's time to make a stand. I can't tell my children that this is the world we've left them. We have to stand up and stop this.
I'm here because I heard 50,000 other people were going to be here, and I figured even if they're out here protesting in a way that I don't like, advocating reform or abolition of some particular institution, at least there are 50,000 people that really care and are worked up about something. And hopefully we can come out here and give them a shove in a little more radical direction. And it's a hell of an opportunity to show that the problem with the WTO is the same problem that all the institutions that fill our lives are guilty of.
It's our planet, and I'm not going to let big corporate businesses run our planet and tell us what to do. If we don't fight them now, we're going to lose to them later.
Freedom!
This is the end of the 20th century, which has been filled with so much brutality and exploitation in the name of profit. This is our chance. This is our moment to say no, no more, no way, never again. I mean, they have so much power, but today we have the power, and we're going to show them that we're not afraid. We're fighting for what's right. We're not going to back down. We're going to stand our ground because we're right.
What do we want? Class war! When do we want it? No! And I appreciate y'all. Yeah. This is something very educational. Last time I seen streets like this was in Nam, man. The only thing there, they were shooting for real. Dropping people. Hell, we gonna do that? Why don't you start looting? I need size 46 jeans.
Right now is we're having a standoff against the cops. And if you see them up there with their water cannons and tear gas, this is people power in action. This is the start of the revolution.
What's on the agenda today? What's the plan after this?
There's a big labor march today. There's a big labor march today.
The
plan is to take Seattle and have fun with it, I guess.
What's the WTO all about?
It's all about greed. It's all about, look at these kids up here. They got a sign up that says, don't trade our future. For these young kids in the street today, it's about their future being traded off by corporations who frankly don't give a shit what happens to them.
Tonight, we're gonna fuck shit up! Tonight, we're gonna fuck shit up!
not what the protest was about. No, it's not a protest.
How are we going to see this?
This guy's bitching. This is my neighborhood. What's he talking about? I was born and raised here. I love this shit.
Frankly, I'm not one who believes that property is more sacred than human beings and their ideas. I mean, maybe it's not the end of the world to damage property.
The street itself actually belongs to the cars legally. But if you're on the sidewalk, they can't do a thing about you.
People up in here coming up at me like with all types of peace bullshit. I'm just like, man, this is not a peaceful. This ain't about peace. The cops ain't seeing peace. Nobody's gonna be peaceful here, man. People can be peaceful, but it don't matter. Police ain't trying to see peace, so it don't even fucking matter. I don't know why you guys try to be all friendly. Man, show them what you can do, man. Fuck this, man. South here. South Seattle, motherfuckers.
So, what do you guys think about what's going on here?
This is gay!
What's it feel like right now? Does it feel good being in the street?
Oh yeah! It feels good to be here and representing for our city and our street. Hell yeah!
Can help, we'll go straight to the cops and talk to them for us. Just get people to the sides of the streets.
Hey, look, man.
I just went up the street.
The politician, he'll walk up the sidewalk, he'll talk to him, everything's gonna be okay, because, you know, he's our politician. Yeah.
Hey, come help! Come help!
Help! You guys are worse than cops. Do you understand that?
I'm trying to
you
keep the
are
peace.
worse than cops.
I'm trying to keep
People
the peace.
are just trying.
Spaces that ask not to be filled.
I agree. Okay, all right.
You got to think about what you're doing here.
What is this rise up, sit down crap all about, huh? No. Yeah, well, it's not peace when they're kicking everybody's ass.
And they're still in jail.
When I got hit in the back with a fucking grenade last night.
Hey, I've been getting it for the last 3 days.
If you're the peace police, they're trying to stop you guys doing what you want to do, and they're saying that smashing windows is violence. What do you say to that? I say it's fucking bullshit. The only way to hurt a corporation is financially. If by hurting a corporation financially, I mean, you would cost them $9 million worth of damage in one day, right? The only way to stop them is to hurt them monetarily. You can't put a corporation in jail. You can't spank a corporation. The only way to spank a corporation is by smashing the fuckers.
And someday we're all going to be dancing on the graves of all of these corporations together, and we're going to forget about this whole argument that we constantly have, this conflict in our scene, you know? And it's really all about unity, and it's also about standing up for yourself and defending yourself when you're getting your ass kicked, and that's really important.
There's nothing in the world like running with a group of 200 people all wearing black and realizing each of you is anonymous. Each of you can liberate your desires. Each of you can make a difference right there, because everyone has your back, everyone's there together, everyone's there for the same reason. And then to do that in the middle of, you know, the most intense police presence in downtown Seattle, they did that despite the cops being there. They did it under the watching gaze of the cops because they couldn't be stopped.
What they're doing here ain't nothing new. I mean, you think they would have knew what happened in all the other big cities, you know? I think I think they just kind of wanted to happen.
Yeah.
You know, that way they can move in and blame somebody. You know, they're not blaming themselves.
Blame who? Who's blaming who?
Yeah, that's just what it is. Who's blaming who? You know, I mean, who's in power? Who's in control? Sure ain't us.
We don't want to split hairs among our brothers and sisters who are expressing their frustration.
I'm not going to cry for their windows. I'm sorry.
Capitalistic corporate pigs driving Mercedes, Benzes, so stinking rich, they live out there $700, $800, $9,000 a month, living like king shit. We need a revolution.
Take care.
Basically, the fascist underbelly of the beast has come out for everybody to see. You know, and it's even the local media, the mainstream local media, has had to take a deep breath and say, this is out of line. You know, this is uncalled for, and it was called for, actually, but in order to understand how it was called for, we have to understand what capitalism is, what capital is, who runs the show, and who the police work for, and where they get their orders from. Then we'll understand how it is called for.
I'm standing at the bottom of Unit 2 of the Snog Timber Sale. They're going to get ready to cut it this summer. We have word that the purchaser doesn't want to log it. They've contacted a friend of mine and said that they paid too much money for it, and that's why they haven't logged it so far, and that they will lose money if they come in and log it. They don't want to cut this. Now, you'd think if the Umpqua National Forest made the recommendation not to cut it, and the purchaser doesn't want to cut it, can't we find a way not to cut it? Why?
You're interfering with the administration of this timber sale.
We're interfering how?
You know how you're interfering.
We're just walking around videotaping.
I don't want you here, okay?
But it's not a closure.
Yes, there is.
There's a closure? From when? When did the
There is not
closure
an
go into
official bee closure, but you're interfering. If you interfere, you will be arrested.
We're up here in this tree sit and tree called Rowan at the Fall Creek. April 20th, we'll be here for 3 years now. I'm glad to be a part of it. There's a lot of different aspects to this besides just defending the forest. It's a good chance for people to come out here and create the type of community that they'd want to live in, you know, and work on that right here, right now.
If we really want to make this whole campaign a really revolutionary thing that happens, it's got to be different deep down. A lot of women felt very intimidated by the campaign. They'd heard for a long time that it was rough and tough anarchist plays, you know, a lot of punk rock and hardcore shit. Like, okay, so if we do save Fall Creek and things still exist as they are, and there still is this division and this inequality, what the fuck have we done? Have we done anything? Has anything really been saved? I mean, what kind of point have we made? We're just, yeah, the trees are saved, and then we go on being as we are in the same kind of destructive mindsets, the destructive society. The things that we've been taught, they'll be displayed in other facets of our life. The root of all the destruction that's happening out of Fall Creek and all across, you know, the Northwest with ancient forests, the roots are in the patriarchy, the roots are in our society. The destruction of our mother is just like the destruction of our close women friends, and it's fucked up, and we're not going to deal with it anymore.
I would imagine you will
read about this in tomorrow's Register Guard. I don't know how big a spread they'll give it. I would imagine you may also see clips of something relative to this story maybe tonight on television. I don't know, just a guess, but it is happening right now. There's a man by the name of Squash, that is the name he is using on the air here today, who started at 7 o'clock this morning, climbed atop a backhoe in a vacant lot used as a community garden in the Whitaker neighborhood, and he is still there. We have a cell phone connection with him right now. How are you holding up, Squash?
Well, I'm doing pretty good. Pretty good spirits right now. We have a lot of people down on the ground, probably about 30 or more people standing around talking, eating, so it's a good atmosphere right now. We need to be recognizing the people that don't own land, that where community and neighborhoods are really important to them, and not just about how much money they can make off their land. And that's what this is about. It's about relationships, and it's about people in the neighborhood standing up and saying, we don't want this here. We want the community garden. We want the open space. We want to grow food and vegetables for Food Not Bombs, for the homeless, for each other, and have mutual aid, as opposed to someone coming in from outside of this neighborhood, determining how, what's going to happen with the neighborhood in which we live, just so that they can line their pockets a little more.
You don't have to answer this, but I'm going to ask it anyway. Are you a person who has at any time worn a black mask, dressed in black, and gone to the anarchist events or anything of that sort?
I'm just here to get pepper sprayed. I just want to get missed.
In the squares of the city, in the shadows of the steeple, by the relief office, I've seen my people. I just stood there hungry, I stood there asking, is this land made for you and me? This land ain't your land, this land is my land. I got a shotgun, you don't got one, so you don't get off, I'll blow your head off, 'cause this land was purchased by the forestry. This land ain't your land, this land ain't my land, this land was stolen from the Native Americans, from the clear-cut forest to the poisoned water. This land was paved by you and me. This land ain't your land, this land ain't my land, this land was stolen from the Native Americans, from the clear-cut forest to the squashed-down gardens. Yes, this land was made for you and me.
Check 1, 2.
to this obvious provocation on the part of the Seattle Police Department was to have our own cop show with some rather intricate theater, including the false entrance of a motorcycle cop through the crowd, then proceeded to grab a unknown TchKung conspirator, Harry, and beat him down with a floppy rubber truncheon. The crowd, however, didn't know immediately that this was a false police attack on a TchKung show, because they were fully expecting a police attack on a TchKung show.
Despite the fact that Marco had a ponytail and a beard.
You couldn't tell right away. Like,
and that
I was there. I was there, and you know, I saw it happen. I'm like, oh shit, it's the fucking police again.
Again. Every show.
This is like the second time. There's like, you see this happening
citizen.
until you can get up close and see, oh, okay, this is like stage. And it's you can see that this is exaggerated, and you can see that it's a floppy thing, and you can see that that's not a real police uniform. And you can
They were really hurting each other. I mean,
they really were going at it, but I mean, there was some stuff. It's like the bat or whatever it was. It's like, oh, that's rubber. Okay, it's not a real billy club. He doesn't have a gun. He doesn't have a police badge.
He did ride in on a real motorcycle.
No, he did.
With a real riot cop helmet.
It was very, very convincing because I heard the motorcycle come in, and then I saw like this chaos coming down the stairs, and it's like cops and people screaming, and
we deliberately train wrecked the song. We had a song.
It looked real.
We started a song and deliberately train wrecked it as if we saw the cops coming in, and we were, stopping the show because the cops were arriving. There was cops that were there to watch the event. They were concert cops. They knew what concerts were about. They knew that a few people playing on oil drums and on a metal sculpture and dancing around were not a threat to the entire community. Someone called in a whole unit of riot police who showed up and had no such knowledge of the lack of danger. And they treated the entire situation as if it were a dangerous riot-like situation. Started moving into the crowd, shoving people, knocking down people like little kids, knocking down families, shoving them, pushing them. And naturally, if you're pumped up and you're dancing and some big man with a stick comes and shoves you, your first reaction is going to be to stand back up and shove them back. And the first time that a cop knocked someone too hard, that person turned around, knocked the cop to the ground. That's when all the shit cut loose. The giant aerosol cans of pepper spray come out. The crowd starts getting maced and pepper spray. They're outside. Someone, we don't know who, breaks out one of the giant bumper shoot glass windows, and then it kind of goes from there. Vader, Farrell, and then we start into that, like we started the last show, that
Hold on. Oh shit, did you guys earlier?
Yes. Darth Vader, Farrell, and then Lingam. And what we're going to do from Lingam is take it, the reverse of the last show, take it from the stage into the crowd.
And then outside.
And then
we're doing this, we're not quite sure.
It'll happen.
This part, we're not sure. If the vibe isn't there, then we're just going to parade around in circles until everyone gets bored and goes home.
We look stupid.
If the people are if it's going good enough, then we take this song outside.
Here's where the fun begins, so listen carefully. Turn that camera on. Hey, turn that fucking camera on. You should.
Forever to get here tonight. They're not doing their homework.
I'm Washington now, man. Okay, well, I'm throwing milk for that. All right, well, yeah,
you okay?
It's a fire hazard.
Oh, his name is Captain Wick.
Captain Wick. That's lovely.
Isn't that? I'm just right up there with Warren.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. He kept repeating the same.
How am I gonna get this kid down? All I could ever hear you say that he said was "Yes, sir. I've heard everything you said, Mr. TchKung, and there will be no fire." Click.
It's really good that the captain is going to become one of our biggest fans.
I heard that Captain Rick was really into TchKung. Captain Rick! He goes to every show!
I love Captain Rick. He's my main man.
Yeah,
he probably just has
voted the Seattle Fire Marshals #1 favorite band on the next flyer.
Yeah, I'm thinking that actually his kids are really into us. He just wanted a free way to get in to check us out. Right here. Amy. Come in. How? Just follow these guys here.
Oh, how you doing? Very good. As we spoke earlier, I thought I'd swing by, and I'd just kind of like to reinforce with you and the group.
Public safety is our concern as well. Okay. We would never do anything to hurt anyone.
That's the Seattle Fire Code will not allow the introduction of any flame into the place of assembly without a permit.
Certainly.
You don't have a permit, and you're not getting a permit.
Certainly.
You don't have a permit, and you're not getting a permit.
It doesn't look that way.
Based upon your prior history. And you and I discussed this at great length this afternoon.
Yeah.
And so you're not allowed to use any fire tonight or any other time in the place of assembly within the city limits of Seattle.
Okay.
So, if you do, it's considered reckless endangerment.
Okay.
And we'll go ahead and deal with it at that point in time.
Okay.
And based upon that history and that history alone, you're not going to get a permit, so you can't do it.
I'm their manager, and I also booked Bumbershoot, and Bumbershoot was
gave them permission. That Norm Langell. No. But I worked there.
Listen. We have tiki torches flame about like that.
You know, I haven't had that on for 2 years.
And it's about as dangerous as the point of the matter is transpired. So what we need to do then is, obviously we need to go through legal channels and find out what we can do about it. Because we're a performance troupe, and we're very safe. We are dedicated to the illusion of craziness. Thank you very much. I want to clear up before we go on, is we do have a power tool on stage. And I want to make sure that's okay.
Oh, so like what kind of a power tool?
It's a drill. Cutting, goes in the metal. Makes a lot of noise.
How about just let us know?
We're only going to do it one song, just on the chorus, on that one song. Okay,
let's get it. If I feel uncomfortable with it, we'll stop.
Let's play the show.